the big star of the weekend, in my opinion, was Valentina Shevchenko. She was absolutely dominant, one of the most dominant performances in the history of the UFC. She outstruck her opponent by more than 200 strikes. In fact, her opponent, Priscila Cachoeira, only landed 3 strikes in a fight that was one-sided from the get-go. It was one-sided before it actually started, and there's been a ton of criticism as far as UFC matchmaking is concerned, Mario Yamasaki is concerned, Cachoeira's corner is concerned. She comes out afterwards, tells us that she has suffered a torn ACL and meniscus. There's a lot to digest here, but make no mistake about it, Valentina Shevchenko is the best women's flyweight fighter in the world, and I think that she further cemented that point on Saturday night. It is a pleasure to be joined by her via the magic of Skype, and she is so kind to be joining us because she just landed just a couple hours ago, I do believe, from a pretty hellacious travel day. Is that not right, Valentina?
Hello, Ariel. It's totally right. We just landed to Houston, Texas, and I'm really happy to speak today right now with you.
Well, the pleasure is all ours. We really appreciate the time. And I know, like, how can you tell us how bad was it? You left Sunday morning Brazil, right? And then you tell us what happened, because it took you like more than 24 hours to get home, right?
Yes, it's true. And it was like all the night after the fight, it's without sleeping. But flight changing hours and everything, but I used to do it every time, and I knew that every travel is difficult, but it doesn't matter when you have a victory. It doesn't matter nothing.
It feels good. Absolutely. I want to actually start before the fight happened. You're in Brazil. I was told that you were a big star there, that the fans really were really taking to you. Were really excited that you were fighting there. What was it like fighting in Belem, which is a great fight town? The first time they've held a UFC event. Your experience just leading up to fight night. What was it like being there for you?
It was very beautiful, and more I was enjoying all these days staying in Belem because I knew exactly where I'm going, because we was in Belem a few years ago. Exactly, it was 5 years ago. We visited Belem, and we did our trip by boat from Belem by all Amazon River to Manaus, and then to Peru and Iquitos. It took about 20 days traveling in a boat in hammocks. So I was very familiar with the city, Belem, and I really enjoyed to stay there because the fans, Brazilian fans, they were supporting me, and doesn't matter where we was going, to the restaurant or just walking by the street, everyone knew that the Saturday, 3 of February, it will be fight, and everyone was wishing, wanted to show their support for me.
You appear to be in phenomenal shape. And this was your first time going down to 125, at least in the UFC. What was it like, with the weight cut that, you famously don't really need to cut when you fight at 135. This time having to cut to 125, what was that like for you?
It was totally easy. I didn't suffer at all because with my training camp, I did a little bit diet, a little bit like food discipline, and I already was 130. And for the last day of the weight cut, I had just 5 pounds, 6 pounds to cut. And I think it's totally nothing if compared with 10, 15 pounds that usually fighters cutting in the last day. That's why I feeling good. I feeling totally great, in good shape, because it's very right, like you say, I never cut it for 135 because 135 it's my normal walk weight, and 125 I just feel like it's my weight class. It's very natural for me, and I feel me there like very comfortable, as strong as same I was in 135, but double faster, if I can say like something like this, and just feeling me there totally natural.
There were some reports that the hot water in the hotel wasn't working, and that led to some issues cutting weight. Did that affect you at all?
It's affect me in the in plan of changing our plans, because I was expecting like to do one kind of routine for my weighting, for my cutting weight in the day of the weigh-in. But when I figure out that there is no hot water and it will take like few hours to fix it, maybe more, I just realized that I don't want to just wait and lose my time, and I just put my sauna suit and went to do my regular training, and it was easy for me because I didn't tired. I didn't like just a little bit change of plans.
Okay. Much has been made after the fight that this was a mismatch, that Priscila Cachoeira had no business being in the cage with you. How much did you know about her when you were offered this fight? Did it ever cross your mind as well that, she is not on your level?
No, because I saw her fight, and 8 wins, 0 losses, more by TKO, and it speaks something. And people was like, if they was thinking that if they didn't heard her name yet, it's something like mismatching. But 125, it's totally right. It just forms the weight class for females, and we will see more names that was not fighting yet in UFC, and it doesn't mean that they are weak. And I was seeing fights of Priscilla, and what I see there that she has very like good character on the fight, very strong hands and very strong head, because doesn't matter how other girls was hitting her, she never was quitting. And I knew that she will give everything from her, more than she was fighting in her home country, in with all supports from all sides, and it will be give her extra motivation. And that's why I was training and I was preparing me as usual for each my fights. I didn't do nothing less than I was doing for my fights before, and I prepared me good to make my fight more easy.
You look phenomenal from the get-go. You were tagging her on the feet, and then, of course, you took her down. I mean, you can make the case that that first round was a 10-7. Did you think at any point in the first round that the fight should have been stopped, that you were just beating her up and there was no sense in continuing? Did you think that Mario Yamasaki was actually going to step in the first round?
In first round, I think it should be continued after the first round. Yes, it was from the very beginning, from the very first my punch. I feel that this is it, and when I feel that my punch was exactly right there and in the right moment in the right place, I just like focus on the to end the fight, and I was going there without stop, without nothing. But in the same time, I in every moment of the first round, I was feeling that Priscilla, she didn't want to quit, and she was like trying to defend. She was like grabbing my hands and doing everything to defend herself, to to do more time and go to the second round. And I think, yes, of course, it was some very hard and very good strikes in the first round, but I think that it's like continue like it continued for the second round, and it was right.
The second round, there were points in that second round, I will be honest, that were hard to watch just because you were beating her up, so dominantly. It was very one-sided. In the second round, did you think at all, okay, this should end? I don't really enjoy doing this anymore.
It's so difficult to say for me because I'm a fighter,
Yeah.
and when I'm inside of the octagon, I go there and I will not stop before someone stops me. And if I feel that I have to continue, I will continue with all my power. And of course, I was feeling that this is the moment. It will end soon. And when Mario, he said like, if you for Priscilla, he said, if you not move. I will stop the fight. And this moment, she started like trying to escape and do everything. She, in the same time, was trying to before the last minute, last second, she was trying to escape. And doesn't matter. She was receiving hard, but she was trying to do something. And there, in that moment, I was thinking like, okay, if it's not stop with just a punching, and I went for submission, and I was continue because in my mind, like a fighter, I have to do everything to finish my fight.
Could you tell that her knee was injured? Apparently, she's come out. She's talked about ACL, meniscus injury. She needs surgery. Could you tell that she was dealing with that?
No, exactly on the fight, I was not seeing nothing like this. I exactly after, I don't remember, one of the first punches, maybe something like this. I was my punch, came right through and to her face, and she was like for a little bit losing her,
Yeah.
and that's what this is what giving me, like, motivation to continue more time, more power. I think this is where this it's after the fight or already analyzing. I was thinking that maybe this was caution, like that she maybe like stepped something on, she did bad step on her feet or something like this. But it's everything. If it's happened like in this moment, it was by causing from my strike.
I know you've been obviously busy traveling, but I'm wondering, have you had a chance to rewatch the fight yet?
Not yet, not yet.
Okay.
I really was focused on just to relax and rest after the fight, because for me it was the same concentration, the same preparation, nothing that something that I was like just knew that it will be easy fight. No, it was not. It was the same hard fight like everyone.
Uh, there's been a big debate since this fight, and it comes up every few months in MMA, that cornermen should throw in the towel more often. It's a very rare thing in MMA. It's a lot more common in the world of boxing. How do you feel about that? Do you think in this case her corner should have stopped the fight? As a fighter, are you in favor of the cornerman doing something like that?
It's all about the team and the fighter in her team or his team. It's not that I was what I was thinking, because like if I see from my point of view, I will fight till the end. I will fight till the end, and doesn't, if my corner will be saying like we will throw the towel, I will say no, no, I don't want, because this is, I think, this is the nature of the fighter, because he or she, we want to show to leave from us everything till the very very end point. And it's difficult for me to say what they have or has to do during the fight, because it's already there, like their own deal.
I understand. Afterwards, as you may have seen, Dana White was very critical of Mario Yamasaki and said that he doesn't want him to ref UFC fights. Do you know about his past, and do you agree with Dana White? Do you think that he should not be refereeing UFC fights?
Um, um, the same, like I'm a fighter. I'm not a referee, I'm not a judge. I do my job, and the referees and judges there do their job. And for example, before the fight, Mario, he said like he came to our changing room and explained the rules, what he will do in case, like, and he said like when you're receiving a strike, while you are moving and trying to protect you, I will keep fight going. And this is what I think it was on the fight, because Priscila, she has good character, and she didn't want to quit, and she was not like laying there and saying, someone please help me. No, she was trying to do something every time point. And from other side, I also thinking maybe like some kind of because in Brazil, I was watching during my stay in Brazil and Belem during 10 days. I was watching a lot of fights of what they are doing in Rio de Janeiro or whatever. And they have their style, like they will not stop the fight till the end, when it will be really, really, really end. And maybe this point also was like affecting, and that's why like we was fighting like more and more time. But the same, like I was saying, I'm a fighter.
Hmm.
I am doing my job. I go to the octagon to destroy my opponent, and my opponent to when she go to the octagon, she go to destroy me. And if I will not be like go with all my power and all my heart, like everything, it will be some kind of risk to receive the same for me. That's why I don't want it, and I will not stop before referee will stop me.
Have you now been told that you are going to fight for the belt next, that your next fight will be against Nico Montano for the 125-pound title?
We didn't speak yet because I guess we just came back from the travel and everybody just came back, and it should pass like some days, I guess, to make things calm and think everything with good mind. And but I hope it will be next fight with Nico. It will be my next fight.
I saw a lot of people online afterwards saying like, "Oh my, Nico wants nothing to do with Valentina. This would be another mismatch. She's just not on Valentina's level." Are you at all concerned that she will try not to fight you?
I don't know. I don't know. Let's see how she will act because till now no one is hearing nothing about her. What she's not saying nothing till now. Let's see what she responds. But my opinion, if she is holding the belt, she have to defend it. And she cannot just escape, and she cannot just find like another reason to not fight or finding another opponent. She cannot do it now. She cannot say that I could not make like 125. She's not only in 125 and no one know what is the weight. Yes, I did fight in 125. I did my job. I did everything. So she just don't have reason to decline the fight.
Do you think she's on your level?
Uh, she holding the belt. This is say everything.
Right, right. Fair enough. That's a diplomatic answer. I appreciate that. By the way, what's it like having Priscila's blood all over your hair like that? That's kind of gross, right? I mean, you were wearing it well, but I mean, it was all over your hair. Did you get bothered by that?
Oh, it was all over, not just hair. It was all over me, everywhere,
Oh my gosh.
like my eyes, everything in my face. And the one thing what I was thinking during the fight, I was glad that this is not my blood.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. That's very good. Did you say something to her after the fight?
Yes, I do say, and I just wish her very good luck in her MMA career. I knew that this is very first fight in UFC for her, and she has very talented future. So with a lot more dedication and more training, she will have a lot of success in her future in UFC. And just continue fight, continue training, and do things what she has to do, and just keep going forward.
In a perfect world, when do you want to return, Valentina? How long of a break do you want to take now?
I want to have a rest like few months because I'm not injured. I feeling good, totally good. I want just maybe recuperate a little bit my energy that I was spending on my training camp, and then I'm ready. I'm ready. But it's more like not about me because you know that I'm ready every time. I every time ready to go and fight. It's all more like about my opponent, all
Right.
about Nico.
All right. We shall
I
see
hope
if
I
she.
hope she I
Go
I
ahead.
hope she will recuperate like sooner the better, and we will do it. Just she will not looking for any like finding something like reason to decline the fight, and she will accept like it is, and we will have our agreement and go to the octagon and to make all point in their places.
All right. I can't wait to see it. I think a lot of people consider you the uncrowned champion at 125, and that's no knock on her. But I mean, you can make the case that you're the best female fighter in the world, regardless of weight class now. So I think you further proved that point on Saturday night. Congratulations on a very dominant and impressive win, Valentina. And I can't thank you and your team enough for making this happen, for coming on the show after a very long day of travel. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Enjoy the victory and get some rest.
Thank you very much, Ariel. It's every time pleasure to speak with you. Now I will go sleep, I guess, for 24 hours.
Okay, enjoy that. You deserve it. There she is, Valentina Shevchenko. Thank you so much to her.